There are a few exponent rules that you need to know for this exam, and they occur frequently on this test, or they're tested pretty frequently, so it's well worth the time to go over these and make sure that you understand them. The first rule is if the bases are the same, so we have a, and we're multiplying these two terms, and they have different exponents, we're going to keep the same base, and we're going to add the exponents. So in this case, we would have a to the 5. Again, if we have the same bases, but in this case, if we're dividing the two terms, we can subtract the exponents. So a to the 1, or just a. If we have a raised to a certain power, and this whole thing is raised to another power, we would multiply the exponents. So the resulting value would be a to the 6th power. And so these three rules deal with when the bases are the same, what would we do to the exponents? Well, what happens if the bases are different? So we have a and we have b, and we're multiplying, and the exponents happen to be the same. Well, in that case, we can multiply the bases and keep the exponent. So it's one or the other. Think you have to have the same bases, and then if it's multiplication, you add the exponents, or if it's division, you subtract the exponents, or if it's like this, you multiply the exponents. In this case, the exponents are the same, and so we multiply the bases. If you take a look at this, it's also going in the opposite direction. We can distribute the 2 out. So if we have ab squared, this 2 affects both the a and the b, so that becomes a squared b squared, which is what we started with. Just one thing to watch out for, if we have, for instance, 2ab quantity squared, the 2 affects the constant as well. So it affects the 2, the a, and the b. So it'd be 2 squared a squared b squared, which is 4a squared b squared. Next, we just have a few more rules to go over. If you have a fractional exponent, say a raised to the 3/2 power, and we want to write that in terms of a root or radical, the numerator always stays with the base. So we have a cubed, and 2 becomes the power of the root, so a square root. Let's do another example. Let's say we have b to the 3/4 power. Again, the numerator stays with the base, b cubed, and 4 is the power of the root. So this is the 4th root of b cubed. In your calculator, though, if you need to actually find the value of this, you can plug in b caret. Make sure you have your parentheses, 3 divided by 4, and that's exactly the same thing. The last rule that we have to go over is when you have a negative exponent. So if you have a to the negative 2, this could be rewritten as a fraction, 1 divided by a squared. So make sure that you know these rules. Here's the first, the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And actually I'm going to add one more. Any number raised to the 0 power, so in this case a raised to the 0 power is going to equal 1, which means if we have a million raised to the 0, it's still going to be 1. If we have 7 raised to the 0, it's going to be 1. So yeah, just anything raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. So that's the rule that you need to know. Alright, well, good luck memorizing these, and hopefully this helps.